Greetings, everyone. My name is Brian Ortiz with the Countdown City Geeks, and I'm here with another review for the documentary Still, a Michael J. Fox movie. Still follows the life of beloved actor and advocate Michael J. Fox, exploring his personal and professional triumphs and travails, and what happens when an incurable optimist confronts an incurable disease. Still is directed by Davis Guggenheim and is written by Michael J. Fox. So let's kind of just jump right into it. And I gotta say, I'm just gonna do right off the bat, I absolutely love this movie. I was emotionally moved to tears, and I cannot say enough wonderful things about this documentary. Look, if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you know we all have a special place in our hearts for Michael J. Fox. And let me tell you, seeing him on screen again just made me so happy, and it filled me with such joy to see that man's face again and hear that iconic voice. Look, full transparency, I don't watch a lot of documentaries, not as many as I probably should because they're just absolutely fantastic, but I really appreciated how this film is presented. It's both intimate and cinematic, if that makes any sense. You know, I love the combination of Michael J. Fox on screen giving interviews, mixed with narrations from his book, as well as these reenactments and real life clips that just masterfully capture major moments of his life. And it's so eloquently put together. The film also pulls together an excellent amount of his early work, a lot of his appearances on television, chronicling that very early career that people may or may not know too much about. And not just his career, but also his life, his childhood, his upbringing, what brought him from being a child actor in high school to being the star that we see on television. And that entire journey is kind of all told together. You know, as someone whose grandfather suffered from Parkinson's, I was very appreciative and happy that the film didn't just use it as a gimmick, but instead it was very informative. I feel it handled the subject matter very sensitively, and it was also very real. It educated the audience on what it's like to live with Parkinson's, and I think that's one of the most valuable aspects of the documentary. The film also, the directors and Michael J. Fox are really good at leaving in all the very ugly truths of what it was probably really like to live with what happened to him. There's a great scene, it's not a really big of a spoiler, but there's a moment where he's on screen again after having an accident. For falling down, he had injured his face, and the makeup artist on set was cleaning him up and getting him ready, and they decided to leave it in the film, and that is just an expression of showing us the true nature of what happens, not trying to cover it up, not trying to say something else about it or hide it. They wanted to be honest and true, and that was a real moment that we saw together as an audience that really kind of encompasses the truth of the movie, in my opinion. And it's just not afraid to dive into the realistic, dark truths of Michael J. Fox's life, some stuff that we may have not known about, and he's not afraid to say it. A couple of final thoughts on the movie. Overall, little recap, right? At its core, Still is a character study in which Michael J. Fox reflects on his life, and he uses a lot of humor and self-deprecation to tell this story. And it's charming, and it's sad, and it's very real. I think the film is a very intimate, but also very uplifting film. It's honest, it's heartfelt, and it's just filled with the nostalgic thrills that you're just waiting for and that you love to see. The film is beautifully edited, well directed, well paced, and while it does create it really does create a seamless weaving story that moves with the audience in it, and it moves in and out of his life through interviews, narration, real life clips, and reenactments. All of this to put together to tell the true story of Michael J. Fox. And so for that, I highly recommend that you go out and check out Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, available now on Apple Plus. So please get out there and check it out. I cannot stress enough how beautiful a documentary this can be. Well, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I want to know your comments. If you've seen the movie or you've seen the documentary, talk about it below. We want to see what you thought about it. I want to share all your stories of Michael J. Fox. What was your first Michael J. Fox film? Let's talk about it. I'm Brian Ortiz with the Countdown City Geeks. And guys and ladies, we'll see you next time. Adios.